सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। The second chapter, read from verse 14. Matra sparashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama payino nityaha tam stitikshasva bharata yam hi na vyasayantyete purusham purushashabha samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate nasato vidyate bhavaha na bhavo vidyate sataha ubhayorapi drishtontaha tanayostattvadarshivih. Lord Krishna says, Tam stitikshasva Matra sparshasu kaunteya shitoshna sukhadukkadaha. Whenever you will come in contact with the things and beings of the world, then an experience will take place. And that experience will be Shita Ushna, either cold or heat, pleasure or pain, honor or dishonor, success or failure, one of the two. Because our life is made up of this dvandva or pairs of opposites. So at any time we come in contact with one of them, or whatever we come in contact with, we usually brand as one of them, as favorable, unfavorable, desirable, undesirable, pleasant, painful, etc. So this is life, Lord Krishna says. Therefore, don't give any great importance to that. Let that not bother you much. Keep them where they are. So success and failure, honor and dishonor, comfort and discomfort, favorable and unfavorable, all of that belongs there. Not only that, but agama apayanaha. The nature it is to come and go, anityaha, they are impermanent. They are never steady. Nothing ever remains the same. Success also does not ever remain, nor does failure, neither favorable nor unfavorable. Like the wheel, they keep on turning, and therefore nothing is steady, stationary. Nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. So, therefore, regardless of what happens, success happens or failure, honor or dishonor, favorable, unfavorable, regardless of what happens, one thing is certain, agama payanaha, they are subject to coming and going, anityaha, it is impermanent. So that's how you look at it. So which aspect to emphasize? Whenever I have constantly, every moment, one or the other experiences. And it is my nature also to brand an experience as favorable and unfavorable. And usually I react. Favorable, I react harsha or elation. Unfavorable, I react with shock or depression. So usually a person keeps on reacting. Even when I get elated, happy by a situation, that also is a reaction, because it is a situation that has caused the feeling of happiness. If a situation can cause happiness, a situation can also cause unhappiness, because I have submitted myself to the whims of the situation. I allow the situations to govern me. I allow the situation to decide how I will feel. If that's my relationship, I will never feel steady, meaning that I will never be at peace at all. Not only that, I don't know what situation the next moment will bring, and there is always therefore an anxiety in my mind. What will happen? So Lord Krishna says that rather than reacting to the form of the situation, so success and failure are forms. Favorable, unfavorable, the form of the situation. But what is one thing that is common to all the situations? They are all impermanent. Lord Krishna, that is the most important. Anityaha, they are impermanent. Why impermanent? Agama payanaha. Agama coming, apaya, go away, disappear. They arise and disappear, arise and disappear. That's a characteristic. Therefore, respond to situation in that way. See, now Lord Krishna is telling us how to respond to changing situations. When a situation comes, I judge it as favorable and unfavorable and then react with elation or depression. And therefore my mind is always going up and down like a seesaw. It's never steady. So rather than branding a situation as success and failure, say, it's impermanent, impermanent. That's another way of looking at it, is it not so? After all, whatever comes, goes. What comes has to go, nothing is permanent. So, either you can respond to the shape of what comes and goes, namely success and failure, or is impermanent, 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 impermanent. Which is true also, isn't it? Whatever comes, goes, and therefore is all impermanent. So Lord Krishna says, therefore look at them as they are, as impermanent. Never tam sitikshasva, put up with them. Not react to them. Not give them more importance than they deserve. Yes, you do what is needed to be done. We have to respond to the situation, all right. It means act, do what is to be done. But what we do becomes influenced by our state of mind. If mine is a reacting state of mind, if because of a situation I am elated, then also I am not under control of myself. And when a situation I am repressed, then also I am not under control of myself. In that case, whenever my response is from a mind which is either elated or depressed, it will not be an action, it is going to be a reaction. In all likelihood, it will not be an appropriate response. To respond to a situation, it is desirable that I enjoy an equanimity of mind, a balance of mind, an unreacting mind. Then do what you have to do. Lord Krishna doesn't say don't do so, do what you have to do. But with a non-reacting mind, don't act out of a reacting mind, because then it will not often impulsive mind. Then to a reaction, and in all likelihood, it would be a violent action. It will hurt somebody. Because I act out of frustration also, then there will be some anger, resentment, and that will come out. If I am elated, then I congratulate myself, then also I lose sense of proportion. So, Titikshasva, Lord Krishna says, put up with them, bear with them, let them come and go. You do not lose the composure of your mind. Let the situations not affect your composure of mind. How would that happen? By looking at the situations as impermanent. Don't look upon them as success and failure, which they are. But while it is success, impermanent success. Add this adjective. Impermanent success, impermanent failure, impermanent honor, impermanent dishonor, impermanent gain, impermanent loss. You see, when it's gain means we just get overwhelmed by gain, but add one, impermanent. Loss, we get overwhelmed by that, add impermanent. So that way, its impact will be much reduced. Impermanent. Oh, I'm honored, impermanent. I am dishonored, impermanent. I made a gain in stock market, impermanent. I lost, impermanent. So when this adjective impermanent is added, and it's a fact, isn't it? Everything that comes goes, and so that is the nature. So when adjective impermanent is added, its impact will be much reduced. And you'll be able to put up with it. Otherwise, difficult to put up with things. Not easy to put up with things. When Swami, in the way look at, they are insulting, they are treating me that way. So then my mind gets just totally filled with that only. Then I should remain impermanent. Then its impact will be much reduced. Tam stitikshasva bharata. He Bharata, he Arjuna, therefore bear with them. Titiksha, forbearance. So then Lord Krishna proceeded further and of course told us also what is the benefit of enjoying or being able to have a mind enjoying composure. That if you can maintain a composure of my mind in all these changing situations, yam vyasayantyete purusham purushashava. Yam purusham etena vyasayante. This, the one to whom this does not create a perturbance. Meaning, when these are not able to disturb the composure of the mind of a person. So if you can, that kind of, with this practice of seeing impermanent as impermanent, giving only that much importance, no more than that. Usually when something happens, automatically I say permanent. This is all there is, there is nothing else. And then I react. Lord Krishna says, this also is now. So when that adjective impermanent is used, then they said, I'll be able to take it in its stride. And time will come then, regardless of what the situation is, I will be able to maintain a composure of mind. It's impermanent. What's the big? Why should I make myself worried about it? And that capacity, that self-mastery that I gain, just by one value, one value of titiksha, it will slowly help me gain a mastery of myself, because the practice of maintaining composure of my mind in changing situation is a spiritual practice, understand? People think spiritual means only worshipping God. That is also spiritual. That's all right, but this is spiritual. When I see the reality as they are, because they give too much importance to things that are not important. Lord Krishna doesn't say don't give importance. Give importance that everything deserves. Then we can maintain a composure of the mind. And that mind gains the capacity. You see, impermanent is of course the nature of things. The form is impermanent. So when I am indifferent to the form, when the form does not create reaction in me, when I am objective, then I can see that this permanent there. You see what I am saying? We give so much importance to the impermanent form that we miss the permanent which is there. So when Lord Krishna says that what comes and goes is all impermanent, by recognizing impermanent, I will gain a capacity to recognize what is permanent also. So that's why Lord Krishna said, Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sada. In the next verse, that hey, the permanent never goes away. Impermanent comes, is as good as not there. Next level. First level is that I learn to maintain a composure of my mind in situations because they're impermanent. When I do that, ultimately I gain a capacity to see what's the reality of what comes before me. The form comes, the changing form comes. But Lord Krishna says in all the changing form there is something changeless also, which we don't notice because the change so overwhelms us that we react. When I do not react to the change, when I can maintain a composure of my mind in change, then I create the ground of recognizing that in and through all the changes, there is a changeless. Then you have done it, then you gained it, When you said that then all the ornaments and names and forms that change, there is gold that does not change. Because the rule is that the change can only be sustained by that which does not change. So agama payanaha, when the situations are coming, going, changing, it can only be when there is something that does not change. But right now I don't have the capacity to appreciate that because my mind is too fickle, too disturbed, too unsteady. So that requires a steady mind. Nasato, then you understand, Arjuna, there is no cause for sorrow. The success and all of these are superficial. They are not the reality of a situation. In all the superficial form or changes, there is something that does not change. That Lord Krishna called this Sat or Satyam, or the truth. And the form in which the truth presents itself before us is Asat, or untruth, or Mithya, or costume. Since we keep on reacting to the costume, we fail to appreciate that which is in the costume. But when we can maintain a composure of mind when the costumes are concerned, then we gain the ability of what there is in the costume, and that is permanent. Sat and Asat, two words Lord Krishna uses in that verse, in the verse number 16 that we just read. That what appears on the surface is Asat. What you come across with sense organs. Lord Krishna says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya. Matra means sense organs, sparsha means sense objects. So when sense organs come in contact with sense objects, an experience will take place because sense organs can only perceive the form, the costume. Sense organs cannot perceive what is behind the costume. You follow? Paranchikhane virtruna swayambhu. Kathopanijat says that the Lord has made our sense organs only extrovert. They can only perceive what is gross or tangible. Na antaratman, sense organs are not designed to appreciate the Atma or the self. The mind can appreciate, but right now what happens is, what the sense organs present before me has become so important to me. That form, the changing thing has become so important that I don't have the leisure to see that behind all this changes there is something which is more important, that does not change. So that is the problem that God has, or we have with God. What is Ishvara? What is his Brahman or Sat? Lord Krishna uses the word Sat here. Because in Upanishad also the word Sat is used, Sadeva Somya idamagra asit ekameva advityam. Hey Somya, this is all this was Sat, one without a second. Etat Atmidam Sarvam, all these names and forms of Brahman or Sat as the Atma, as the content. So just as a gold presents itself in the form of ornaments, and if we keep on reacting to ornaments, then we fail to see that there is gold which is permanent. Similarly, we keep on reacting to what is impermanent. situations come and we keep on reacting to them. By branding them as good, bad, favorable, and then branding ourselves as hurt and guilty, victim and so either I am a victim or a villain. So what happens is not only we brand the situations as success and failure, we brand ourselves subsequently as successful and failure. The problem is here, not there. But what happens is that thing creates, a judgment about the self, unfortunately. What happens out there, as long as it remains there, no problem. Pleasant, unpleasant, happy, unhappy, success, failure, favorable. It is that nature of that thing, so long it's okay. But what I do is, I allow that to influence me, that I brand myself. In some way, I am responsible for what happens there, This is our nature. There are some people who take, they blame themselves for everything. If a tree falls there, I must have done something there. If anything happens, I must have done something. So they keep on always take that blame themselves. That's what we do. When something happens out there, I brand myself. Success happened out there, I am successful. Who told you that? Failure is that, I am a failure. No, this is the problem. We keep on branding ourselves. So Lord Krishna first has cut off that. It's all there, agama, payana, it's there. And therefore, maintain a distance. That failure belongs there, success belongs there, honor belongs there, dishonor belongs there, mana, apmana, stuti, praise belongs there, censure belongs there. I don't have to judge myself based on that. I need not superimpose that. And then Lord Krishna says that, then you will see that what you perceive is just the form, is only costume. If I do not react to costume, then I can see the actor. When we give reality to the costume, we keep reacting to them, then we miss. So when I can maintain a composure of mind, steadiness of the mind, and not react like the Halloween. So all kinds of, what do you call them? The masks are there. And I keep on reacting to masks. If I don't react to masks, and then you lift the mask, then you realize that there's somebody else there. Similarly, this Lord Bhagavan comes in with all masks. That's his problem, our problem. He became as he is, no problem, but he comes, he alone is. What you call Sat or Brahman, that's all there is. But he presents himself before us with the costume of Asat, meaning which is unreal or mithya or changing. Therefore, Lord Krishna gives us here in the 16th verse an understanding of the basic realities of life, that understand, Arjuna, that there are two levels of realities. One is called Sat, other is called Asat. What is Sat? Paramadika Satta, the absolute reality. The reality, absolute is the word that adjective we add, because we see some other reality also. So what is only one, but then, so Asat, Sat and Asat. Asat actually means non-existent. But here Asat means that which is really non-existent appears to be real. That is called Asat. So mithya or apparent. Meaning that Sat or Brahman presents itself before us with the costume of Asat or unreal costume, which is always changing. Success, failure, good, bad, all this belongs to the costume. If we give reality to the costume and keep on reacting to that, we will never be able to see what's behind the costume. But if you can maintain the steadiness of the mind, then you can see that regardless of what the costume is, what is important is what presents itself in that costume. Uvayo vidushtantah tvanayos tattvadarshibhi. Tattvadarshibhi, those whose nature it is with tattva. Those who have cultivated that frame of mind with which they can see tattva, meaning the actor, and not just get deluded by the costume. Tattvadarshibhi, they see the difference. For Sat and Asat, that Asat belongs to the costume and Sat is the reality. Sat means existence, means Brahman, means Ishvara, means self, means truth. What is only that? But just as in the ocean, the water comes in the form of waves, and just as gold comes before us as ornaments, similarly, the Sat comes before us with all these forms. The costumes, which is Asat, which is not real, which is mithya. Lord Krishna says, when we realize that there is no question of reacting at all, and then of course, titiksha or forbearance becomes very natural to the wise person. So, thus Lord Krishna introduces in this verse two levels of realities, Sat and Asat. What is Sat? Real. Abhavaha na vidyate. It can never be the Sat is not, meaning that what is real, what is truth, what is true nature of Ishvara never suffers a loss, it never changes. It remains ever the same. On the other hand, what is Asat? The costume that Ishvara wears, the costume in which he comes before us, is never permanent, impermanent, always changing, unreal in appearance. So these are the two realities, Sat and Asat. Unfortunately, the Sat never comes before us in its pure form, and therefore it always requires us to pay attention and recognize that in the costume of Asat there is Sat more there. If he came alone as Sat, there is no problem. But he doesn't. He comes only with the costume of Asat. So therefore, all problem is because of that. All problem is because of taking Asat or the costume as real and think that this is a beggar and this is a king and this is a minister. Hey, all of these are only costumes. Behind that is actor, changeless. The costume comes and goes, is not so. Always changing. But what? The one who is behind the costume does not change. So this is a general description. How does it apply to us? You know, when we talk of Sat and Brahma or Ishvara, don't think that we are talking about somebody out there. Who is that Sat? And where is that Asat? Is right here. I is Sat. The self is Sat. But then, how do I know myself? Or what kind of a notion, or what kind of a opinion, or what kind of understanding I have about myself? I am a man, I am a woman. So that I am always comes with an adjective, you know. in our life also, that I am never comes as it is, I am something. We always add something to I am. I am a man, I am a woman, I am happy, I am unhappy. Why do you put happy? But we always do. Say I am. No, we don't say that. I am happy, I am unhappy, I am successful, I am failure, I am great, I am this. So there are two things involved there. I am and great, or whatever else. So Sat and Asat. I am is Sat, and the costume in which it comes, like man, woman, happy, unhappy, right, wrong, good, bad. What is that? That is Asat. So now let us look at ourselves, Lord Krishna says. So now in the next two verses, so the then question is, so the wise people know the difference between Sat and Asat. So then the Shankaracharya says, Kim punha tat sat yas sadeva. So it is said that Sat asataha abhava na vidyate. It can never be that Sat is not, Sat is always. It is permanent. Is always there, is real, never changes, changeless. And Asat is really never there. It is always changing and not real. So now in our life, we should recognize what is Sat and what is Asat. So Shankaracharya asks this question. What is that Sat? Lord Krishna introduced these two words, Sat and Asat, or two degrees of realities. So now tell us, what is that Sat? And what is that Asat? So that we can try to distinguish between the two. So we must give Asat the importance that it deserves and give Sat the importance that it deserves. Is it not so? After all, when you buy an ornament, the form has an importance. You get a certain shape of an ornament with some design, etc. We don't say that it is not important. It has some importance. But that's all you see and fail to see the gold. No, that's not right. An ornament is also a union of the gold and also the form. So give the form the importance that belongs to the form, and give to the gold the importance that belongs to gold. That's all. Because gold always comes as some form, as a bangle, earring, some form. Like Sat always comes in some form. So we should distinguish between the form and the content of the form. In a bangle, the round is the form and the content is gold. So therefore, when Lord Krishna talked about Sat and Asat, the next question is, what is that Sat? That never changes, that is ever the same, that is permanent. What is it? And so, in the next verse now, Lord Krishna says, verse number 17, Avinashitu tad vidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinashamavyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhate. That very Sat is explained here. So what in the previous verse was called Sat? What is that Sat? Avinashitu tad vidhi. Lord Krishna said that, may you know that Sat to be Avinashi. What is Avinashi? Indestructible. See, there's a word called Vinasha, means destruction or disappearance. Avinasha, non-destruction. To avinasha, a suffix is added. Avinashi, is the nominative singular word avinashin. So to that avinasha, a suffix is added, in pratyaya is added. Avinasha plus in becomes avinashin, of which the nominative singular being avinashi. Why am I worried about this? Because the in pratyaya has a significance. In shows the nature of a thing. So when the in pratyaya is added, means that it shows its nature. So avinashi is indestructible by nature, understand? Avinashi means that which is indestructible by nature. That's very important. Yena sarvam idam tadam. What's the reason why that is indestructible? And Lord Krishna is talking about whom? He's talking about us. Understand, Arjuna, that you, the self, the Atma, is avinashi, indestructible by nature. Why is it avinashi? Why is it indestructible? Yena sarvam idam tatam. That by which all this is pervaded. Look at this. Lord Krishna is talking about us, and you know what he's saying? That by which all this is pervaded. But the I or the self, everything is pervaded. What do you mean, Swamiji? I am here. Who am I? I am here within this body. You can say body is pervaded by, because up to here I am here. Up to the boundaries of my skin, that's my extent. That is how far I exist. So what is my understanding of myself? That I pervade this body. You know what Lord Krishna says? No, the I pervades everything. Our experience, what Lord Krishna says is quite different from what our experience is. Is it not so? Swami, I know who I am. I know how far I go. This is up to body. Lord Krishna says, no. The I has no dimension at all. Simple I does not have any dimension. Or even simple I am, you can add that much, has no shape or no form or no dimension. What is the shape of I am? Oh, Swami, 5 feet 8 inches, 160 pounds. Is that I am? But then you also say I am, isn't it? You don't say that, you also I am. Then a mosquito also would say I am. If it could say, poor thing. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shunjeva shvaya. Lord Krishna says that if you ask a brahmana who is very learned and very pure and a sattvic person, ask him, I am a brahmana. Ask a cow, I am a cow. Ask an elephant, I am an elephant. Ask a dog, I am a dog. Ask an untouchable, I am an untouchable. All of them say, I am, to I am, they add some adjective. See, what happens with us is that this language of Swami used to say creates really notions in our mind. Depending on how we describe things. Used to give an example in the olden days. What is this? A clay pot, right? A clay pot. What it means? So a clay pot, when you use that expression, the adjective comes before the noun. So red flower. Red is adjective, flower is a noun. Similarly with the clay pot, clay is the adjective, pot is the noun, isn't it? So what is it? So clay is the pot is substantive and clay is adjective. This is called substantive. You know in English? Adjective and substantive, right? You know what is substantive? Substantive is that which is substance. It's called substantive. So in the clay pot, the clay is adjective, pot is substantive, meaning the substantial entity here is pot, characterized by clay. So substance is pot and clay is adjective. With clay pot, you know what it means? Substance is pot and clay is adjective. What is the substance here? What am I touching? And the weight that I feel belongs to what? To clay. And the smell belongs to what? Clay. Taste belongs to clay. So what is substance here? Isn't it? What is pot? What is the adjective in which, so pot is the form in which clay comes. So really speaking, what is substance here? Clay. What's the adjective form? Pot. But when we say clay pot, in our mind, what is registered? That pot is a substance and clay is adjective. So Swami suggested that we should rather change this expression. What should we call it? Potty clay. What is this? Potty clay. Then it will be right. In the potty clay, then what? Clay is substance and pot is a adjective. Similarly, what happened over there? We had our ornaments somewhere, okay. Bangle, Gold bangle, same thing. Bangle becomes the substance. Gold becomes the adjective. What is it? Bangly gold. What is it? Bangly gold. So I am a man. When I say that, man becomes substance and I am becomes adjective. What should it be? Many-I or something like that. Suppose I say that, then what is substance? I is the substance. And that I comes in the form of man, just as clay comes in the form of pot and pan and pitcher. Similarly, I comes in the form of man and woman and happy and unhappy. So what is substance there? I am is a substance. If you understand that, then I realize how many I am are there? Many I am. Men, many. Womany, happy, unhappy, mosquito-y, whatever, Mosquito-y I, cow-y I don't know. Is one I, of which I is substance, cow is adjective. So Brahmana is adjective, cow is adjective, elephant is adjective, dog is adjective. What is substance? I am, I am, I am. So please tell me now, how far does I am extend? We are confining, suppose a table could say I am, then what? Swami, table cannot say that. All right, suppose it said. The birds also say I am, but there are people who understand language of birds and they can communicate with birds and plants and all kinds of people are there. Maybe there is somebody who can communicate with table, I do not know at this time. Table says, I am a table, I am a chair, I am a rock. Then rocky I, cherry I, Tibli I, is it not so? In all of them, what is common? The I am becomes common. Moment we say, I am man, I am woman, then I am seems to be divided, cut into so many pieces, and we think that everyone is different. Every I is different because the man and woman becomes the substance, and that becomes an adjective. But on the other hand, tably I, cherry, etc., when we say, don't say that because people will laugh at it. But at least in our mind we understand. Then what do we really see? That same I is everywhere in different adjectives. So what's man? An adjective. What is woman? An adjective. A cow, adjective. Elephant, adjective. Happy is adjective. An adjective. Call it adjective. Call it costume. So same I comes in variety of costumes. Is it not so? Panditaha samadarshinaha. So Lord Krishna says Panditas, the wise people, samadarshinaha. Tattvadarshinaha, samadarshinaha. Those whose nature it is with tattva or the truth, or samadarshinaha, those whose nature it is with sama, sameness, oneness. So is there sameness between you and I? Is there sameness between one and the other? Is there sameness, is there something same between a man and an animal, and a bird and a plant and a tree? I am is identical. Coming in different upadhis, different names and forms, just as water comes in variety of waves, different names and forms. Just gold comes in variety of names and forms called ornaments. So when I am comes in what? All kinds of ornaments. I am is the gold, they're all ornaments. Then you say, what is the boundary of I am? Lord Krishna says, Yena staram vidam tatam, that by which all this is pervaded, meaning that is present everywhere. What's the reason why the I am is indestructible? Avinashi tadviddhi. Lord Krishna says, may you know that to be avinashi, indestructible in nature, by which all this is pervaded. Whatever is pervaded by one I am. One existence. What kind of existence? That which is self-revealing existing, because I am is self-revealing. Self-existing, self-revealing, self-sufficient. I pervades everything. The space also can say, I am space, I am air, I am fire, I am water, I am earth, I am sun, I am moon. Everybody can say I am, is it not so? But I am that is shared by you, and I am that is shared is the same I am. Because you and I are what? Like the different, only adjectives, different costumes. Like one space appears to be divided into many parts, but the part cannot really divide the space. It can create appearance of division of the space. That is true. So when you have these different enclosures, then it appearance is created that this space is different, other space is different. This is a space covered by a flower vase, a space covered by the pot. Pot space is different, and vase space is different, and picture space is different. So this what happens in our mind. Not that space is different, but somehow when we see the space associated with an enclosure, automatically we impose that enclosure upon the space and then brand the space as limited to this and limited to that. The moment we see this enclosure, this body-mind sense complex, right away we say, this I is divided. This one I is here, other I is there. And thus the I gets divided, not because it is, but that is how we see it. Not that the parts divide the space, but we in our own mind say this is part space A, part space B, part space C. Avinasha tadvidhi yena saramidam tatam. Lord Krishna says that I am, which is self-shining, which is consciousness, which is existence, which has no form. Just as space has no form, but then appears to come in variety of forms. Don't think that the space takes the form when it comes in a pot. It does not. But we think it's a pot space. Similarly, not that the eye has taken a form. Then we impute a form upon that and we think that that eye is limited to this form, other eye limited to that form, a third eye limited to third form. And thus we see differences and then we fight. Or we either join or whatever. With some we make friendship, with others we make so friends, and for all differences are created because things are different. That's called samsara. Because friend will create one reaction and a foe will create another reaction. Somebody is likable creates one reaction, dislikable creates another reaction. And therefore we always live in reactions and never enjoy a composure of mind, peace of mind, can never enjoy happiness. So Lord Krishna is simply telling us how to be happy, really. We don't have to be too, Swami, this is too difficult. It becomes difficult only because we have created difficulty by all the time cutting off things, by dividing the consciousness or Atma into so many things in our own mind, not that it is divided. Avinashu tadvidhi yena sarvidam tatam. Next line says, Vinasham aschavyasya na kaschit kartumarhati. Lord Krishna says, nobody can bring about the destruction of this Avinashi. Because what is Avinashi? One whose nature it is to be indestructible. So that indestructible by nature, the nature can never change. So there is something destructible will always remain destructible, and some indestructible always remain indestructible. The indestructible comes in the costume of destructible. So the costume that we perceive is destructible. That brings before us the indestructible. Therefore Arjuna is told in this particular case that nobody can bring about destruction of self. Don't think that you can kill somebody. What I'm going to kill? Well, what will happen if Bhishma gets killed by me? And Drona gets killed by me? All my near and dear and all the reverential people will be killed by me. So who will be killed? Avinashi, that of which the nature is to be indestructible. Meaning that indestructible can never, that is called indestructible, which cannot be destroyed. Or can use another word, avyaya, immutable, changeless. Why is indestructible? It is changeless, that is indestructible. So understand that Atma, the self, is avinashi, indestructible, changeless. And therefore nobody can bring about destruction of that Atma. You and nobody can bring about. Shankara says, Ishvara cannot bring about, let alone Arjuna. Arjuna thinks that I'll destroy these people. What do you mean you'll destroy? You can destroy only what is destructible. You cannot destroy indestructible. And indestructible comes in a destructible form, but then what matters is the content, the indestructible. What is Bhishma? The indestructible self. What is Drona? The indestructible self. You can never kill them. Avyasya vinasha, the destruction of this changeless, immutable, na kaschit kartumarhati. Nobody can bring about the destruction of this avyaya or immutable. So what is Sat? Immutable, indestructible. What is Sat? Destructible, changing. So that also you cannot change. Meaning that you cannot make the Asat changeless and you cannot make the Sat destroy. So in this verse, Lord Krishna gave the explanation about Sat. In next verse, Lord Krishna will say, what is Asat? So because two words were Sat and Asat. So Lord Krishna talking about two degrees of reality. Sat is the absolute reality, Asat is the apparent reality. Sat is the actor, Asat is the costume. Sat is changeless, Asat is always changing. We'll see the next verse in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Verse 16. Avinashi nasato vidyate bhavaha na bhavo vidyate sataha ubhayorapi dushtontaha tvanayostattvadarshivih avinashidu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasamavyyasyasya na kaschit kartumarhati. Yena sarvam idam tatam, that by which all this is pervaded. Another way of looking at it, that by which all this is pervaded. What is all this? Consisting of a variety of names and forms. So all this is a whole universe of sentient and insentient entities. And all of these can be said to be names and forms. A sentient thing also is a name and form. An insentient object also is a name and form. So what we have so by which all this is pervaded, all this is whatever we come across, which is names and forms. So this expression, name and form, includes everything. Sentient, insentient, good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is all included in name and form. So Lord Krishna says that which pervades all this. So what is it that pervades all names and forms? What is that is common to all names and forms? As we have seen earlier, that this part has 5 aspects about it. One is that the part is, and how do we know the part is? Because I'm conscious of the part. I know that object is when I become conscious. Means the part is, and the part shines in my consciousness. And so is and shines, is means asti, shines means bhati, so asti and bhati. And third is that part is useful. In the scheme of things, a part serves a purpose, and therefore it is dear to the one to whom it is useful. To Swamiji it is useful, as an example in this case. But everything has a purpose to serve, everything, and therefore some usefulness is there. And therefore it becomes a source of happiness to somebody or the other. So there is an attractiveness there. It's called priyam. Asti, bhati, priyam. So every name and form is asti, bhati, priyam. And if you take this clock also shines in my consciousness, and clock also has usefulness, and therefore it is also dear to somebody. Asti, bhati, priyam. So this is one thing that is universal. A good thing also is shines and dear. And forget about dear right now. Is and shine, asti and bhati. That is simple. A pot is and shines because then only you know it is. A cloth is and shines in my consciousness, the way sight is. So whatever there is in the universe, whether good or bad, this much is common. It is asti, even if you forget about bhati, asti. This much credit we have to give to everybody. That part is. Is means asti. Cloth is. Asti. Table is. Asti. Chair is. Asti. A brahmana is. A cow is. An elephant is. A dog is. Good is. Bad is. Indifferent is. Right is. Wrong is. Indifferent is. There is one nothing can do without is. Whatever exists must have this isness in that. So that is the most common denominator. In every other way, things may be different from each other. But there is one thing that everything shares, and that is what? Isness, isness. Is alone is called Sat. So, na sato vidyate abhavaha. Lord Krishna said, it can never be that Sat is not, that is not, that everything is. Again we say pot is, cloth is. So Shankara is san hasti, san ghataha, san pataha, elephant is, pot is, cloth is, good is, bad is, mine is, yours is, likable is, dislikable is, failure, success is, failure is. That much you have to say is. Honor is, dishonor is. So Lord Krishna said in all of this, see there are two elements, right? Honor is, dishonor is. Success is, failure is. In that agama, power is subject to coming and going. What is changeable? What is subject to coming and going? Success comes and goes, but ease remains. Failure comes and goes, ease remains. Yena saramidam tadam, that by which all this is pervaded, is what? Is. Is it not so? What is the most common denominator? Even if you take this pot and break it into pieces, then also the pot may be destroyed, but then its pieces is. You further make it powder, is. You further subdivide, molecule is, atom is, and therefore ultimately everything reduces to is. Yena saramidam tatam, that is, Asat is that by which all this is pervaded. Avinashi, that is indestructible, because it is pervaded, and it is, nature is to be, is its nature, therefore it can never not be. When something is Sat has a nature to be, therefore it cannot be the Sat is not. You can never imagine that, you cannot imagine is not something you cannot imagine. Is not, you cannot imagine. So Swamiji, imagine there is no horn on your head. On my head, the horn is not. Is it not so? But you see, for you to say that there is no horn on my head, you must first imagine a horn. That is not. So horn must exist someplace. It's not here, all right, but someplace it is there, otherwise you can't imagine that. So horn also is, and head also is. On the head and horn together may not be, But head is, this is square circle, something like that. So there may not be an thing called square circle, but square is and circle is. Therefore, without isness we cannot think. In all our thoughts, isness is always involved. There cannot be a thought or anything where you can say is not. I tell you, Swamiji, is not. An elephant is not in this room, okay. But you think of elephant, which has isness, room has isness. So can you think of something which doesn't have isness? It's like thinking of a pot without clay or without a substance. Swamiji said, can you imagine a shirt without a fabric? Maybe. You can even make a shirt from what? A newspaper, He used to sing, Avara hu. So that fellow, he used to wear, I guess, he had shared Raj Kapoor in a movie called Avara. And he had, I guess, a shirt made of some very strange thing, a newspaper. You can, for some substance must be there, isn't it? A thing cannot exist without a substance. What's the true substance? Is a substance without which a thing cannot exist. That's the real substance. So what is Atma? So you said, I am everywhere. What is that? That Sat is the same as I am. No, that's the interesting thing. The loop must be complete. That when we say is, looks like is out there. Where is it? Is in the pot. Is in the table. Is in the chair. So is where? Where the name and form is. Isn't it so? When the pot is, where is isness? In the pot. Cloth is, where is isness? In the cloth. Room is, where is isness? In the room. Is that so? Is isness in the pot? In the cloth? In the chair? In the table? In the room? Tell me, where is isness? Table is there. Chair is there. Ceiling is there. Tree is there. Tree is. Ceiling is. Table is. Chair is. Where is this is? You'll be most surprised. Where is that is, That is I. I is. Call it I am, or am and is are the same thing. They are all forms of to be. Only when it goes to I, it becomes am, goes to that, becomes is. Both are to be, means to exist. So don't think that is there. This is what Lord Krishna said. Don't think that is out there. Where is this? Isness is here. Unbelievable. Is it not so? Chair is out there. Where is isness? Here. Ceiling is there. Where is isness? Here. Tree is there. Where is isness? Here. The Asti and Bhati and Priyam, the tree is, tree shines, tree is dear. Table is, table shines, table is dear. So looks like every name and form is Asti, Bhati, Priyam. But who am I? I also am. I also shine. I am also dear to me. So Asti, Bhati, Priyam. Understand that Asti isness is not there, isness is here. So this is not possible. Imagine a room with hundreds of mirrors of different shapes, concave, all kinds of mirrors. And then Swami enters in the room and stands in the center. How many Swamis are there? There are 1,000 mirrors. How many Swamis are there? 1,000. And they're all strange looking Swami, depending on the kind of mirror. You look like that and like. So, concave mirror, convex mirror. How many Swamis are there? 1,000. So when that Swami in that mirror says, I am, where does that am go? Who is the I of that Swami is appearing there? I is that without which it cannot be. As long as this Swami is there, so long that Swami is. If this Swami walks out, where will that Swami go? He's still waiting. A Swami in that mirror is waiting for this Swami to come back to this room. Does it not? He's waiting there? No? Does that Swami appearing in the mirror, does it have the freedom to remain if this Swami is not there? So that Swami is because this Swami is. Is it not so? Meaning that Swami derives the isness from what? This Swami, is it not so? Who is the Atma of that Swami in the mirror? This Swami is the self of that. What is self? Without which a thing cannot be. Without this Swami, that Swami cannot be. That Swami appears when this Swami comes. It remains as long as this Swami is. Disappears when this Swami goes. Is it not so? So that Swami came from whom? From this Swami. How long is he there? As long as this Swami is here. And when this Swami walks out, where do all these Swamis go? 1,000 Swamis, where do they go? Much back. So as soon as this Swami came in the room, 1,000 Swamis appeared. They were created. From whom? From this Swami. How long are they there? As long as this Swami is. And where do they disappear? When this Swami walks out of the room, what happens to them? So even though Swami appears there, is isness, where is that, Even though the Swami appears in that mirror there, when that Swami says I, where does the I actually land, When he says I, that Swami says. Where will it land? It will land here because this is the Swami, I, or content, or self of all those Swamis. They're all appearances and this is a real one. This is called Sat, that's called Asat. So Lord Krishna says that is not really there. It cannot be that this one is not, and it cannot be that one is, because even when it appears to be there, not really there. Doesn't matter, leave out that aspect. But still, in our demonstration, if you still understand, that Swami is because this Swami is there. Therefore, who imparts isness to that Swami in the mirror? Does the mirror impart the isness? Who imparts isness to that Swami appearing in the mirror? The reflection is because this is called image. That's called reflection. Reflection is because image is. Therefore, image is the content of the reflection, self of the reflection, the I of the reflection. And therefore, even though that Swami appears there, where is the I of that Swami? content of the Swami, self of the Swami. Not clear. That if you want to offer, now so many guests have come to your house, so this was your house. Oh, Swamiji have come. Swami, please have a tea. So how many cups of tea will you need? 1001? How many cups of tea will you need? Huh? Why? So when this Swami drinks tea, how are those Swamis? Do they? That's why I don't want tea. Somebody says, I don't want tea. I want coffee. But when this Swami drinks tea, do they have freedom not to drink tea? No, he sits there. Can it be? So how many cups of tea do you require? One? Only one? And when Swami drinks tea, how many Swamis appear drinking tea? All 1,000, is it not so? So that tea, where is that tea that you see there? Where is that tea? Is in this cup, isn't it? So where is that Swami who appears there? He is here, is it not so? So that Swami is now of that. That Swami is that. That is the pronoun denoting something away. But that Swami is, the is where? Not there. If ease was there, then even this Swami walks out, that fellow will remain. If the easiness is there, you follow? The fact that that Swami does not remain when this Swami walks out, meaning that that Swami does not enjoy his own easiness, he enjoys a borrowed easiness. Borrowed from whom? From this Swami. Is it not so? Looks like a very difficult thing to understand. So where is the easiness of that Swami? Yena sarvam, that by which all this is pervaded. This Swami is by which all this is pervaded. Even though I think that I'm looking at different entities, because they all look strange and different, but in reality, who am I looking at? Myself. I am. Where does it exist everywhere? They share the same I am that I am. Is it not so? Yena sarvamidam tatam. That Sat, Asti, Bhati, Priyam, or call it I am, I am, I am. There were, all these fellows are destructible. This one is what? Indestructible. Usually example given in Vedanta is a different example. That of a dream. That this could very well be a dream, I may be giving you, conducting this class, thinking that's the real thing. It could be a dream. So let's say this Swami's dream is, where did you all come from? I didn't have to invite any of you, isn't it so? All those in the dream were all projected by me. Is it not so? Otherwise, if I have to wait for the building of the hall and inviting all of you and coming there before I can dream, Swami, you cannot dream, they have not yet come. Oh, the hall is not ready. Sound system is not yet installed. I can't dream. Is it so? For me to dream, conducting the class, what do I need? Do I need a hall to build a hall? Do I need to send you invitations? So where does the hall come from? From my mind. Where does the audience come from? From my mind. All the sound system comes from where? From my mind. Meaning that, who is in the form of audience? I am in the form of that audience. I may not know it that time. When I am dreaming, I think that I am talking to people other than me. Is when I wake up, it is, hey, when I wake up, what happens to all the fellows sitting here? When I wake up from the dream, you are all waiting there. When is Swamiji again going to come to dream? When is he going to commence his lecture? Is that right? When I wake up, do you continue to sit there? No. You wake up. So where did you come from? From I. How long are you there? As long as I am there in a dream. And when I wake up, what happens to you? You all merge back into me. Is it not so? No, Swami, we really came to a class last night. How did you like the class? You remember which verse I took? That I don't remember, Swamiji. So all the people in a dream, who are they? It's I alone who appears as the whole dream world. Even in the dream, looks like everybody is real. So when you smile at me, I feel very happy, and you don't smile at me, then I feel, what is this? I can't communicate. Then I feel unhappy. So the real happy, because I think it's all real. It's only when I wake up I realize that it all emerged from me. It stayed in me, merged back into me. Is it not so? So who is the I of all those fellows in the dream? Who is the I am? Call it I am, call it Sat. Yena sarvamidam tatam. That by which all this is pervaded. Sat, asti, 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 sat, sat, sat. Everything is, everything shines. Asti, bhati, priyam. Satchidananda pervades every name and form. Where is Satchidananda? That's my nature. No, Swami, that's my nature. Suppose you may say that. I keep on saying I am Satchidananda as though you are not. Swami, that's what you mean? You are Satchidananda, we are not? All the time he says, that Sat belongs here. What do you mean? Your Sat belongs to me, what about that? You can say that. That will be funny. How many Sat is there then? So Sat that I am is in you, and you Sat that you is in me. So how many Sat is there? As many people are there? No. One Sat alone pervades the self of all. And therefore there is no you, all there is I. No, Swami, there is no you, all there is I. All right. But that I is dimensionless. I is without any attributes. I doesn't have any height and weight, and isn't it? You add then I say, I'm Sridhar and I'm Narayana. Then that I becomes, but by itself, I is what? Nirvishesha. Sat, call it Sat, call it I. So, what can be destroyed is what? The table can be destroyed. Can the pot can be destroyed, but can Sat be destroyed? As I said earlier, even if the pot is broken, it will have a different name. And it's further broken, it will have a different name. And then the name will be powder, and the name will be molecule, there will be atom, there will be some name and form keep on changing. But molecule is, atom is, the isness never goes. Yena avinashi. Sat is that of which the nature is avinashi, is indestructible. Vinasham avyasya. So you can destroy the pot all right, but not the Sat. You can destroy the chair all right, not the Sat. Destroy the table all right, not the Sat. And where is the Sat again? Where is the Sat of this pot? Sat of the table? Sat of the chair? Where is it? There is the self. Yeah, but Swami, if I destroy myself, then what? People are found to destroy themselves. It is not so when they hang, they commit suicide. So is it not so that people kill themselves? Lord Krishna's second line, Vinasham avyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Of this immutable, nobody can bring about vinasha. destruction, disappearance. But Swami, we find people killing themselves. When a person commits suicide, does it not kill himself? Isn't the I destroy, isn't the Atma destroyed? No. Something happens to the form, all right. What we can do is to change the form. Pot is, pieces is, powder is. Form can change. This can never. Even when somebody commits suicide, God forbid, not that. But then also, what changes the form? The isness never goes. So isness or Atma, indestructible. Nobody can bring about the destruction of the Atma. This Arjuna is told in a particular context. Because Arjuna thinks that he's going to destroy Bhishma and Drona and what do you mean of Bhishma? Oh, Bhishma is like this pot. All right, so what can you destroy in the pot? Only name and form. But the content of the pot cannot be destroyed. So also with Bhishma and Drona, a name and form perhaps, that can be destroyed. Not what the real essence of Bhishma and Drona is. So Sat is explained as that which is all pervasive, one without a second, non-dual, indestructible. What about the Asat? Because Lord Krishna talks of two categories, Sat and Asat. So what is Asat? The 18th verse tells us that. Antavanta ime dehaha Nityasyokta sharirinaha Anashino prameyasya Tasmad yudhyasva bharata. Ime dehaha. These bodies, meaning what are the names and forms? Deha is this body, gross body as well as subtle body. So we have not only the gross body that is what appears, that we want to experience, but what keeps this gross body alive or sentient is called the subtle body. Like in case of a fan, what rotates all those blades of fan is a subtle body called the motor. And it is a motor that is energized by electricity and in turn energizes the blades. So is consciousness that energizes the subtle body, which in turn enlivens the gross body. So deha, this gross body, subtle bodies, all the names and forms which we perceive, which are tangible, antavanta. Lord Krishna says that they are destructible. That destructible is explained in a very interesting way. Really speaking, just now you said nothing gets destroyed, all that gets changed is only name and form. Nothing gets really in this world, nothing can be destroyed. Isn't it? You think that you have destroyed something, all they do is to change the form. Pot is destroyed and becomes, half, is further destroyed. So something always remains. Nothing can ever be destroyed. Can anything be ever destroyed? Because the name and form changes, but then that it is never destroyed. So Lord Krishna says, they are destructible. But nothing is destructible. Is there something that can be destroyed? What is destroyed? Which no more exists. What is destruction? That no more exists. But then nothing can be destroyed because everything exists in one form or the other. Is it possible that we can destroy something? Give an example of something that can be destroyed, leaves no existence at all. Something that is destroyed completely without living in existence. Is it possible? Because everything always only changes form. Matter is indestructible, energy is indestructible, they only change the forms. Is it not so? So what this indestructible Lord Krishna talks about? Or indestructible, what is destroyed? Destruction, disappearance. So, it's an interesting problem, is it not? How about the rope snake? You know rope snake? Yeah, we all had it here, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Here it is. Okay, how about that? Wow. We have everything here. So, how about the rope snake? The rope that appears as a snake. Is it not so? That's called rope snake. Where there is a rope, in fact there is rope, there is what? A delusion of snake. An appearance of snake. Now, when you bring a torchlight and show what that object is, what is there? Only rope. What happened to snake? What happened to snake? Destroyed. Did it leave any residue? Oh yes, Swamiji, wait a minute, I still see some snake. I'm afraid of snakes. I still see something there. The rope snake, does it leave any residue at all? It gets So if you have to give an example of what gets destroyed, only one thing can get destroyed, is rope snake. That which is not there which appears to be there, but which is not there in reality. Is it not so? What is the rope snake? That which appears to be there, but which is not there in reality. That's a real distraction. Another example of a mirage water. So mirage water remains. Even when you see, mirage water, right? So until we know it as mirage water, it looks like it's real water. And then you say, no, it's just an appearance of what is mirage water. But does that mirage water get destroyed? No, Swami. Even when I know it is mirage water, the perception still remains. So mirage water doesn't get destroyed. But you see, mirage water also is an appearance. Appearance always gets destroyed. So rope snake is one kind of appearance, mirage water different kind of appearance. So that will remain. In mirage water also something gets destroyed. This is highly technical thing, but anyway I'm telling you, because when they're talking of distraction, there's no distraction otherwise. Distraction of what? Distraction of what is not what appears to be there, but what is not really there is destroyed. When? For the rope snake, when does the rope snake get destroyed? When there is knowledge of rope. When you show a torchlight and when you see that what there is rope, in the knowledge of rope, the rope snake gets destroyed. In mirage water, even though knowledge is there that all there is sand, still the mirage water doesn't seem to get destroyed. But something gets destroyed there also. You know what? Nobody will know, but I'm telling you. So when you see mirage water, when you do not know that it is mirage water, then hey, this is water. So in my mind, there is this thought. What is thought? There is water. Then when I go close and realize that it's mere an appearance, then, oh, this is false water. So what has something has been destroyed? What? The reality of the mirage water is destroyed. So when mirage water was not recognized as mirage water, I thought it is real water. When I recognize the mirage water, then the reality is gone, because it was not there to begin with. In short, what is not really there and what appears to be there is the projection gets destroyed. Lord Krishna says all these bodies are destructible. What do you mean? Destructible? Scientifically they can never be destroyed, you know. But I'll give you another example of the bodies being destroyed. I give you the example. You're stuck with this class today anyway. There is nothing I can do about it. The verses are like that. No? I can skip the verses and I can just, and go ahead. But anyway, since the verses are there, we might as well do a bit of justice. Something you will get out of this, hopefully, and something you will remember. But other example that I gave you is when I'm watching the dream. All the bodies are there in the dream, Is it not so? I'm giving you a lecture. They're all listening. And they're also, yes. When they understand, otherwise, whatever, some expression is there. But when I wake up from the dream, what happens to all those bodies? No, they're still waiting, Swamiji, we are waiting there. When are you going to come back to the dream and commence the lecture? Is it so? No. The dream disappears without leaving a trace. Just as a rope snake disappears without leaving the trace, so also the dream bodies all get destroyed, if you want to use the word, without leaving a trace. So what can be destroyed, Only projection can be destroyed in the wake of the knowledge of what truly there is. Meaning that the projection of the snake can then get destroyed in the wake of the knowledge of the rope. The projection, that is, the dream, gets destroyed in the wake of the knowledge that, the projection, what is real is myself. Lord Krishna says, Arjuna, all these bodies are antavanta ime deha. These bodies are all antavanta. They are all destructible. All this, they are all perishable. And even physically also it is true that all bodies are perishable. That even when the body perishes, even when this part perishes, something does not perish. What is? The Sat never perish. Similarly, all names and forms are perishable, and Sat or Atma is imperishable. But we give you a further example of perishable. Something that is get destroyed. What? A projection gets destroyed. Therefore, really speaking, all these bodies, all this includes this also, is what? Nothing much more than projection. Don't tell me, Swami, I'm a projection. But if this was a dream, imagine, then would it have been projection or not? Tell me. If this was a dream, would not all the bodies have been projections? So what's the guarantee that this is not dream? What is dream? Dream is the projection of the mind. Is it not so? What is dream? Projection of the mind. You know what is this? They say that we are all dreaming. This is the beginningless sleep of ignorance, in which we are all dreaming, meaning that what we call the tangible world, a real world, is what? Also a projection. Projection of the mind of projection of cosmic mind, put it that way. As far as Vedanta is, what is creation? Creation is projection. Now, we cannot go ahead too much into that, otherwise whatever little you understood also will be a problem. But the thing is, even if you say that this part is created, what is created? The part maker created the part, right? Now, before the pot was created, it was in the form of a lump of clay. Then it was a lump. Right? So now you see the lump. So you know what clay is? Before the creation of pot, what you have in front of you is lump. So you know what clay is, right? So clay is very well understood by you, known by you. Then the pot maker makes what? A pot. In that, the clay part is not created, right? Because clay was there. Therefore, in the pot also, whatever the clay aspect is there is not created, is not so. Has pot maker created the clay in this? No. What did he do? He imparted a form to that which has a name. Is it not so? So when we say pot is created, really what is created? Tell me. This pot is what? Clay in a given name and form. This object is clay in another name and form. So when this object is created, really the substance namely clay is not created, then what is created? Name and form, is it not? So what did the pot maker create? Name and form. So what is the pot? Clay plus a name and form. What is the vase? Clay plus a name and form. Now let us have a deal. That I will retain the clay and you take the form and name. How about that? Suppose you go to a jeweler, and have a deal with him that he made for you some ornaments and now have a deal. The jeweler says that the gold I keep and take away the name and form. Because what is ornament? Gold plus name and form, is it not so? What is pot? Clay plus name and form. So I keep the clay and give a name and form. That's, you paid when we go to a goldsmith and give him some gold, what does he give you back? An ornament. And he charges a lot of money for that, Now, if you weighed the gold before you gave him, for ornament, you weighed, and when he gives you back the ornament, if you weigh, is there a difference? Huh? If at all, there will be other way around, meaning that depends on where this deal takes place. In fact, some people are pretty well known for, what you get back. What you gave was a 24 carat gold. What you get back is 14 carat. In that, some kind of, copper and stuff. Let us not talk about that. Assuming that the goldsmith has given you all the gold back. So you get your same gold back, not different, not more. And you pay me 1,000 rupees. For what? For name and form. Now you give him that. Say, all right, here is my, I'm giving you ornament back. Give me gold plus 1,000 rupees. Will he give you? As I said, from the ornament, if you remove the gold, what remains? You can say the ornament is destroyed. Is it not so? Although we say that the pot is clay plus gold and form, but take away the clay, does name and form leave any residue? Why not? You paid thousands of rupees for the name and form. Where has it gone? What goes away was not there to begin with. That's what Lord Krishna says. In between there is an appearance, but not really there. Because there is an appearance of part, a name and form. In real what it is only clay. Because when you take away the clay, there is no name and form. That means that even when name and form appears, it's not really there. That's a sutra. Adavante jannasti vartamane vitta tatha. A great teacher of Vedanta has said that what is not there in the beginning and what is not there at the end is also not there in the middle. Meaning that before the creation of ornament, all there was gold, lump of gold, there was no name and form. After the ornament is melted, what is there is lump of gold, no name and form. In between that name and form, we understand is not there. Vartamane vittata. What is there is just what? An imagination. So this name and form is not here. It is where? It is in our mind. It's called projection. All right, Swamiji, then this. But can you fill up water in clay? Tell me. If clay and pot are the same, can you fill up water in clay? How would you make pot? Well, all right. So that's an emotional problem. How can the pot is not there? So emotional problem is a different thing. Usefulness is an emotional problem. You can't carry water in clay. You cannot fill water in clay. The pot is so useful, so beautiful. That's good. It's all. Where is it? All that stuff is here. As far as substance is concerned, nothing is added. As far as clay is concerned, nothing is added. Gold is concerned, nothing is added. It's called value addition. That's a new term. Okay, value addition. So in clay there is a value addition called pot. That's all for business. That's all for money. But in reality, as far as Vedanta is concerned, no substance is added. Because there is no other substance. Everything is what? Projection. How about this body? What is substance of this body? If we don't become emotional, then, body is a very touchy thing. That's why we keep away from that. But talk of my body, so you're off the hook, If you look at this body, also is name and form, is it not so? Some 5 elements in name and form. But what did we find in case of the pot? What's the reality of name and form? It appears to be there, but not really there. Is it not so? Meaning that wherever name and form is, they are only in appearance, not really there. What applies to a pot applies to everything. This is logic. Just as in a pot, the name and form appear to be there, but are not really there. Similarly, wherever name and form is, it only appears to be there, not really there. Therefore, here also, the name and form appears to be there, not really there. A name and form is a projection. Upon what? The name of the pot is projection upon clay. But clay is another projection. Upon what? Upon earth. There's another projection upon what? Molecule. Another projection of what? Atom. Projection of what? Electron, subatomic particles. Upon what? Upon Sat. So what's the name and form? A projection upon Sat. Is it not so? So what is this name and form? Big deal. What's a project? It's what? Projection upon Sat. It is in my case you will accept, right? That this is what? This name and form is what? A projection upon Sat. What is name and form? Not really that. Something that is an appearance. An appearance is the only thing that can be totally get destroyed because it is merely a projection. So, in this case also, what can get destroyed is only projection, name and form. And therefore, all the names and forms are what? Projection. Therefore, they are destructible. When do they get destroyed? In the wake of the knowledge. When does the rope snake get destroyed? In the wake of the knowledge of the rope. When does the reality of mirage water get destroyed? In the wake of the knowledge of the sand. Even if the body does not get destroyed, the reality of the body can get destroyed. What happens is that this body is like that mirage water. That even after knowing that mirage water is mithya, the perception still remains. The pratiti remains. In Sanskrit, perception is called pratiti. But drishti has changed. See, formerly I thought mirage water, pratiti was mirage water, and the drishti also was water. When I realized that there is only mirage water, then pratiti remains water, but drishti is what? Not there. Drishti has changed, right? What is important is drishti, not pratiti. Pratiti is what? 1,000 swamis, isn't it? Drishti is what? One. When you look at the mirror, pratiti is what? Swami, another Swami appearing there. What is drishti? I am appearing there. See, for a child, that pratiti and drishti, no, but child has a pratiti of something and drishti also of something. For a bird when it's pecking on a mirror, it is pratiti of a bird and drishti also of a bird. But when we look at the mirror, pratiti of the Swami, but drishti of what? Of I. Pratiti of two, drishti of how many? One. Pratiti of 1,000, drishti of how many? Pratiti of thousands, name countless, drishti of what? One. And so, pratiti comes and goes. What does it matter? Lord Krishna, antavanta me deha. All the dehas, names and forms, they are all antavanta, meaning they are all mithya, they are all appearance. Of whom? Nityasyokta sharina. That is sharira and shariri. Deha and dehi. For example, dhanam and dhani. You know what is dhani? Dhani means a wealthy person. Wealth and wealthy. You know, in English that also it works. Wealth and wealthy. Who is wealthy? Wealthy is the one who possesses wealth. In Sanskrit, dhanam and dhani. Who is dhani? One that possesses dhanam. Deha. So what will be one who possesses deha? Who will be that? Dehi. The sharira, the possessor will be called what? Shariri, right? Sharira, shariri. Deha, dehi. So here, Lord Krishna, you are shariri. One who possesses the body. Who possesses the body? What's the reality in this body? Sat, Sat. So, who am I? Sat, possessing this body. Who are you? Sat, possessing that body. Who is that? Sat. Call it Sat, call it I, call it self, call it existence, call it Brahman. Possessing that body, this body, call it God. Call it Krishna. How about that? I like Shiva, Shiva. I like the Dakshinamurti. Whatever you like, possessing that body, this body, this body. Krishna possessing this body and that body. Shiva possessing this body, that body. Rama possessing this body. Names change. What is called Sat is an uninteresting thing. So the Sat does not generate, and that's why they gave a new name, Krishna. Oh, that is something. Same as Sat, Rama, Shiva. Whatever you like, name. That is called Sat or I. So there are different names given. They're more interesting and more, what they call sweet names. Sat doesn't have, it's very dry stuff. Sat doesn't create any kind of, thing in us. Krishna. All right. Use that name. What is that is all? Krishna, pervading everything. And that is myself. That I like, Swamiji. Yes, I am willing to call Krishna as myself. Okay. Sat alone is called Krishna, and Sat alone is called Shiva, and Sat alone is called Ram. Whatever you name you like. Any name that you like is fine with us. Fine with Sat. Doesn't matter what name you give. So who is the possessor of the body? Call it Sat or Atma or Krishna. Possesses one possessing all this body. Can you believe that? These bodies of all the Swamis appearing in the mirror, who possesses all those bodies, This fellow who is here. How many bodies do I have? 1,000 bodies. Is it not so? They are all perishable. Who is this one? Imperishable. See, if you look at the first line of the verse, for those who know a little bit of Sanskrit, Antavantah ime dehaha. This dehaha, what form is that? Deha is which case? What is the substantive there? Oh, Swamiji, we have not yet come to that. We are only in the alphabet. Okay, all right. We have not come to this. Oh, so declensions have not started. Yeah, I understand that. Ramaha, Ramu, Ramaha, we are memorizing. Ramaha, Ramu, Ramaha, but then what? Ramam, Ramo, Raman. Oh, good. Third one is what? Ramena, Ramabhyam. But then what is Deha? What form is that? Ramaha, Ramu, Ramaha. Deha, Deho, Dehaha. So what is Deha? Plural. Which case? Nominative. Of which word? Deha. So Deha is singular, dual or plural? Okay. Now Antavanta is also plural, by the way. Is the adjective of Deha. That's a little difficult thing. So Antavat is the word there, Antavantaha, ime Deha. Ime also is plural. Antavantaha ime Deha. All these bodies of the one. So as many bodies are there, so many possessors, as many houses are there, so many owners must be there. Isn't it? Similarly, each body is like a house. As many houses are there, as many owners must be there. So how many owners must be there? How many possessors must be there? As many bodies are there, isn't it? So Deha is body with a possessor. In Sanskrit, what will you call it? Dehi. Remember? Deha, Dehi. Sharira, Shariri. So Dehaha is how many? Plural. Same as Sharira, by the way, only word is different. Dehaha, Deha also means Sharira, both mean body. Except, what will be the plural of Sharira? Nominative plural will be what? Deha, Deho, Deha. Similarly what? What will it be? Huh? I don't hear. Shariraha. If it was that simple, would I ask you? Huh? Shariram, it happens to be a neuter word, by the way. It declined differently. Shariram, Sharire, Sharirani, Phalam, Phale, Phalani. All Sanskrit scholars learning all nine, all that stuff going on. But anyway, so sometimes we like to. So Shariraha, no, Sharirani. And the possessor of the Sharira is called what? Shariri. But really substantive what? Sharirin. Of the word Sharirin, the nominative singular is Shariri. The dual will be what? What's the dual of Sharirin? Sharirino. What's the plural? Sharirina. Then nominative case? Sharirim. Sharirina, Sharirine, Sharirina. So here is the word Sharirina, the last word on the first line. What case is that? Confusing, Shariram, Sharire, Sharirane, Sharirina, Sharirana. So, Shariram, Sharire, Sharirina. Or Sharirin, Sharirina, oh, Sharirina, sorry. So, what happens is that this for the neuter word, the nominative and the accusative plural are the same, but unfortunately, something else also is the same. What? The singular of the fifth and sixth case also is the same form, Sharirina. So, which case is that, Sixth case. What is singular? Sharirina. Sixth case, singular word Sharirin. The point is, Sharirina. Is it singular or plural? Singular. And Deha is singular or plural? Plural. So Shariri means what? Possessor of body. Deha, bodies. So the word body is in which case? Word Deha is body in which case? Plural. The possessor of the body is called Sharirin, is in which case? Wait a minute. So possessor is in which case? Singular. Possessors are how many? And the possessed body are how many? How can that be? Lord Krishna is making a mistake here. He has forgotten his grammar, I think, When bodies are many, the possessors should be many also. Is it not so? But Lord Krishna is making a mistake. Says, of all these bodies, the possessor is one. Just by grammar he is telling us this. By the construction, we are told that Shariri is what? One. Of one possessor, all these bodies. Of one Swami, all those bodies, right? Or if you go to the dream example, of one Swami, all. So in the dream, who became all the people? I became all the people. Is it not so? Therefore, I am the possessor. All these are bodies possessed by how many? By one I. Is it not so? That's what it is. There is one possessor. Who is that possessor? Sat, Asti, Bhati, Priyam. Call it Krishna. He is a possessor. How many bodies does it possess? Countless. Meaning that in every one, who is a possessor? Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. I am. That pervades everything. And that is called Leela or the sport. That is like in dream you project so many bodies, so all these bodies are there projected. But the one who projects is called the possessor of the body, that is called Sat or the self. So Antavante, therefore these bodies are Antavanta, they are appearances, they are mithya. The one who possesses the body is what? Indestructible, Satyam. So Satyam coming in so many forms. Satyam simultaneously assuming so many costumes. One Shariri assuming. Now, this doesn't make sense. That the possessor is one and the bodies are many. Can it be? It can't be. How can it be that one possessor, one self possesses so many bodies? How can it be? Only when the many is an appearance, then only it is possible. Isn't it? Like you see yourself in the mirror, there are many Swamis in the appearance. So Lord Krishna says, I am the self of all. All these are just the bodies which I appear in so many forms. He's not far away. Not only in those forms, even in this form also. Close at hand. So, one Shariri, one embodied, one self, appearing in so many bodies. So, the bodies antavanta, they are destructible. They are appearance, they are projections. And the one who possesses the body is real. And so, Bhishma, Drona, how many are there? 18 Akshauhini, how many people are standing there in a Kurukshetra, I don't know, you can't even count this. There is a whole number. One Akshauhini is one division of army. It has so many elephants, so many horses, so many this, so many chariots, and so many, the soldiers, foot soldiers. And if you add 18, I think it is, will be crores of people, Anyway, where did they get them? I do not know, but so that's so all these fellows are there. But how many self is there? And so who gets, if at all gets destroyed, what gets destroyed is the body, which is not an appearance anyway. Because nothing real can get destroyed. Only rope snake can get destroyed because it is an appearance. So what is destructible? Antavantaha, destructible or what? Only appearance can get destroyed, not the real thing. So what does it matter? If you break one mirror, then that fellow is gone. Break another mirror, that fellow is gone. So, is it really real destruction? So Arjuna, understand this all play. Lord Krishna is giving a big lesson here, to poor Arjuna, whether it's ready or not. But that's a lesson that is given right now. Anashano aprameyasya. The shariri, the embodied, the possessor is anashi, is indestructible, imperishable, aprameya, immeasurable, dimensionless, infinite. So in infinite, possessing all many countless finite bodies, immeasurable, possessing countless measurable bodies, indestructible, possessing countless destructible bodies. So regardless of what you do to the bodies, would anything happen to the possessor? No. So all these Bhishma, Drona, all those lakhs of people who are standing there, what are they? They are just so many bodies possessed by whom? By one. So whether the bodies are there or not, nothing happens to that one who is imperishable, indestructible. So what are you worried about, Arjuna? You think I'm going to destroy. Who are you going to destroy? You cannot destroy anything unless there is appearance. That's all can be destroyed. Nothing else can be destroyed. So like Don Quixote, Don Quixote? He is fighting with shadows, fighting in the air, with wind. He was fighting with windmill or something like that. No? With all imaginary things, he is fighting. That's what all this is. And so, tasmad yudhyasva bharata, therefore, hey Bharata, therefore yudhyasva. Therefore, you fight, meaning what? You perform your duty. Because you cannot destroy anything that is indestructible, and what you think you are destroying is not there to begin with, and therefore don't worry, do your duty. Okay, we'll continue next time. Little very heavy lesson, but anyway, so. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah.